All right, Spencer Burford, calf, will not practice. Flanagan Fowles, calf, no practice. Purdy, elbow, no practice. Robert Beal, ankle, no practice. Leonard Floyd, shoulder, no practice. McKivitz, knee, no practice. Bosa, knee, no practice. Debo, rib/wrist, no practice. Kittle, ankle/hamstring, no practice. Demo, shoulder, no practice. Yiadom, pelvis, no practice. Ricky Purcell, illness, chest, limited. Jair Brown, ankle, limited. That's it.
Will you be practicing today?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Have you made a decision on starting quarterback for Sunday?
Yes. I guess Dobbs.
Is that offensive line related?
Yes. Yeah.
What have you seen from him in practices this season, Kyle?
He's been great. Him and Brandon. So, they've been two good guys to have there. I've kind of looked at both of them as our two throughout the year. Kind of a little bit what I said in preseason. But they both have done really good looks on scout team. They split all the reps there. They're always ready. They both prepare like they're going to be a starter every week. So they've been great.
You kept Mordecai also on the practice squad. So was it different having four quarterbacks?
Just because we don't want to lose Tanner, and it's always tough having four just because of the reps. That's kind of. Nick Mullins his first year, I think he was the fourth, and he got scout team reps at safety until basically his first start. So that does happen. You got to find ways to get the work in, but he's taking advantage of his time here too.
Is this week sort of an opportunity to get a lot of young players reps with the first team in practice any game?
Not really. Rosters aren't built like that. You get to sit 5 to 7 guys. You can sit 7 if you bring up 2 practice squad guys, and you don't just sit there and tell every guy who's a veteran is going to be the backup and play special teams. There's guys are banged up and stuff like that, where they've just been barely getting to game day and things like that. You got to be smart with those things, and I kind of wouldn't want to play any of those guys or anything like that. But it's not what people think. We don't have rosters like that really anywhere, and you got to balance it out to make sure you got 48 guys who can play.
Some of those guys like Debo and Kittle and Nick, is that more, are you worried about their availability for this week, or is it just because of the short turnaround from?
We're only a day removed, so I think that's why there's a lot more on there than usual. With it being a short week and where we're at here being the last game of the season, we're not going to ask guys to play through some injuries and stuff like that. So, none of these are too serious. Some are more serious than others, so hopefully these guys feel better as the week goes and can get into practice tomorrow.
Brock mentioned that over the course of this season, him and Ricky stayed after to build that chemistry, run extra routes. Is that something that you encourage your young wide receivers to do with their quarterback, or was that entirely self-motivated?
It's something I encourage everybody to do. Veterans, wide receivers, running backs. If you want to really detail stuff and get really good at your craft, you got to always put in the extra work. There's not, especially when you don't get an off season. The off season's where you hope that you can get one. With the rules, you hope you can get it in OTAs, and you hope you get it in training camp. That's really where you develop the muscle memory. In the season, you're kind of just running a few reps, trying to get ready for the looks that are on game day. So if you ever want to go over extra stuff, it always has to be after. It has to be extra, and it gets harder as the season goes because guys do tire out. But I think that's one of the most important things between a quarterback and everyone he throws to.
Is there any reason you kind of got away from the run in the second half of the game?
Yeah, because I thought we needed to throw it to win. And I think I threw it 16 times in a row, which, I think I didn't plan on doing that, but also didn't plan on having some of those penalties. Got into some 2nd and 20s. We had a 1st and 15, then a delay of game that went into a 2nd and 20. Then we had a 2-minute drive, trying to come back down 2 scores. So I think that's why it got out of hand. But our plan going into that game was we knew we were going to have to throw it a lot more to win.
At all related to new offensive linemen, that teaching the new guys the run game is a little harder than pass protection?
To a degree, but also has to do with how their defense was built. Thought it was easier to get yards throwing the ball than running. And when you're in a game where you feel you got to score every series, you're not going to be as patient with something that, they're a real good run defense, the way they commit to it. I think they were 4th in the league. Regardless of their injuries, their style of defense is tough to run the ball against, and when you have some different alignment in there, it's a little tougher to block against. And the combination of that with what I thought we could do in the pass game was going to take the higher percentage plays to attempt to try to score over 40.
I think going into the 2018 finale, you knew that George Kittle was close to that record, and you made it a point to get him the ball. Are there any things that you're kind of aware of going into this game? And if a guy is close to a milestone, will there be somebody in your ear during the game that says, hey, Juwan needs, 8 more yards to reach 1,000, that sort of thing?
Like 70? Yeah, people will be in 77? All right. Okay, I'll keep that down. Sure, Juwan will tell me too. But yeah, you would love to. You always want to do that stuff for guys, especially in a situation where you can think about it. Like, it's insulting to think about it just to the situation of everyone if you're competing for a playoff spot or something like that. But always, and I would love to help that out for guys. You got to be somewhat careful of it. I mean, I remember last year watching the Rams trying to get Puka the record, which I know they wanted to get him in and out. So we were doing everything we could to deny him the ball. I remember he came to the sidelines on like a 1-yard gain, and I told him, it's like, yeah, Sean's going to have to play you to the end of this game because we're not giving you your record. And he just laughed, and I laughed at it. But that's, we're not playing the next week, so I'd love to help guys do that out.
Will you assess yourself this offseason, how you feel you did compared to other seasons that you've had in the NFL? You've been around so long. Wondering if that's a process that you would do and if that would be
No,
tough
I'm not going to do that this year. Yeah, I do that every day, every year, every play, every second. So.
I have another Bobby Turner question. He's the oldest position coach in the NFL. I know he's very routine oriented. Has he changed at all this year as far as his energy, his process?
Yeah.
Or is he a clock?
He is definitely like a clock, but I think he's, Bobby had got some surgeries a couple years ago to take care of his knees and stuff like that, and now he's got a pep back in his step. He's not limping. He's moving good. I think Bobby seems closer now than how he did when I first started working with him 15 years ago or 10 years, how many ever years ago it was in Washington was the first time I worked with him, and I think he's closer to that now than he was 2 years ago.
What's your favorite Bobby T memory?
There's a new one every day. Bobby, I don't have one in particular. Probably listening to him in the office next to me talk to Siri and ask Siri how to get a peach pass to avoid the traffic when we lived in Georgia together. And I finally had to go and tell him Siri can't do that. And to listen to him explain it to Siri, and no, the lane with the peaches on the road, and I want one of the passes to avoid the traffic. And so we had to help him out with that. But that was Bobby with technology, and he's gotten better with it. But little things like that we get a kick out of.
Are you frustrated with your individual performance this season, or do you feel like you controlled the things you could control?
I don't understand how to answer that question. I work as hard as I can at my individual performance. So I'm frustrated with our season. I'm responsible for everything. So I think you can figure that out.
On the play that Brock got hurt, the safety blitzes from the slot, I don't think Brock can see him. It's to his blind side. What's the responsibility on a blitz like that?
You're hot. They brought 2 to the back. You need to throw it hot. He didn't see it. You need to see it. The line ended up falling into the Mike blitzing, and then hopefully the halfback can save that since O-line took his guy, and they can fall into that. But you're hot on the situation, and you need to get rid of it.
Did the halfback do the right thing in going towards?
Yeah, he tried to get to him, but you can't count on it. There's 2 guys coming, and got to get rid of the ball.
That's it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.